Hello, Murk Resource Podcast for the week, our gratitude series and our podcast. Hey, we have with us today Miss Sharon Epps. She is known as Miss Poet. And I tell you, she has a story to tell and to share. You know, we've been talking about gratitude for a little while, and we're always giving um, different things that researchers have been doing and whatever. But Miss Epps, Miss Poet, Sharon Epps, is walking gratitude. She's a life of gratitude, and her gratitude shines out all around her. And if you're not familiar, you'll be like, when she pass you or speak to you or just start talking to you, she don't have to know who you are. You always say, "Dad, there's something about that lady. Who is she?" And I'm saying, who are you? I know who you are, but will you talk, come in and tell a little bit about you?
First of all, Eleanor, thank you for having me on Murk Resource Center. Um, I'm really grateful. Thank you that you were even mindful enough to think about me. So that means a lot to me. Who am I? I'm a woman who God came and got out the crack house. I sit down when I was 19 years old to get high. When I got through getting high, I was 39 years old.
Oh, gee.
20 years had passed me by, and I looked up those 20 years. I had a 20-year-old son, a 2-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old daughter. I had welfare check, low-income housing, and food stamps. I had police kicking my doors in, FBI. I lost my job at Great Lakes Naval Training Center. Who am I? I'm a woman that has been to jail and handcuffed and robbed in the back of a complex building with a Tech-9 to my head by four trying to take my crack. I'm a woman who got felonies for selling to an undercover agent from the United States government. Who am I? I am only because God is, because he loved me so much that he came to the crack house and escorted me out with love.
Yay.
I'm that woman.
But that's that woman. But who is this woman today?
This woman is a grateful child of God. You know, Eleanor, when they ask me, yes, I've been to the White House. I was escorted to the White House by the CEO of Abbott Laboratories, the CEO of United Way, and the CEO of Manpower to go meet George W. Bush from the Welfare to Program back in 2002. I went to talk about women's issues and why women aren't speaking up or coming to get jobs when women say they needed help. They got a DCF case. They're threatening their low-income housing and their welfare. That's all they got. And so they don't say they have problems, but they have problems.
Yes.
It was hard back then. That was 20 years ago. And I'm like, okay, God. But when God came and got me, instead of going to the left, hanging out at TP Liquor Store, I went to the right and got me some help. I was in a 21-day program that went to went to Elgin, Illinois, to a 30-day program to a battered abuse shelter because I had battered and abused myself. Then I went another program in Lake Forest, the Women's Residential Treatment Center. When I left there, I went to NACASA. I'm the first graduate of the NACASA Women's and Children's Program. They got $1.5 million a grant. I'm that first graduate. And That's how I met. The United Way paid for my computer skills. Manpower trained me, and Abbott Laboratories hired me. And I worked there for 20 years with 2 felonies. When God opens a door, my first check at Abbott Laboratories was $30 more that week than my welfare check of $377 was for that month.
No.
I knew I would I worked myself off of welfare and low income housing and food stamps. You, I, those systems are just a help. They're not. You can't. You survive. You struggle, and to maintain, to learn how to live out of $377 a month. You and your children, and you got to no. That's not living life abundantly like God said. Jesus came so we could have life and have it more abundantly. I'm that grateful woman. I just try to, this life that I have now was so precious to me because I didn't treasure it then. You asked me what was gratitude. I think you have to know what it is to be grateful for.
Yes. It's a personal experience.
Yes, you have to know, go through something. Because see, you're born, you're in your mom's house and everything, and they feed you and they clothe you, and you're not grateful.
Mm-hmm.
You're entitled. You feel entitled. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not grateful that your mom cooks and feeds you. You just know that this is what we do here. And they clothe you and they do this, and then you get out on your own, you know. And then you get a job, and so you start imitating what you see. But there's really no room to say, oh, I'm grateful for this job. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. But let that job get taken. Let this happen, and you realize, wait a minute. I have to work hard for my money with my children. You ask me for some, I can't buy you, boy, I can't buy you no $100 shoes. We don't
about that.
Like that. And so you learn how to be grateful. But then there's another step. You learn how to live grateful. You open your hand up and give to somebody else so you can help them. You know, then when God said, love thy neighbor, I understand that now at this point in my life. I'm here to help. And any way I can. If it's not but to just smile at you when I see
that.
it.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and greeting people, you know, how you greet folks and how you tell it in your story. Talk a little bit about your poetry, you know, how you express your life.
Writing for me is very therapeutic. I write about me. When I'm writing about my drug addiction, I'm writing about me, but I'm telling you so you can understand why I did what I did. Some people don't understand. They look at the people's situation and they judge that. I was molested when I was a little girl from 3 to 5. And I had to live with my predator every day of my life and act like nothing happened, because when I realized what was happening to me, I was so ashamed of myself that I kept that. The reason I kept that secret is because I didn't want anybody to see my reality. But that was my reality. And I didn't want you to know this about me. And so things I learned. You learned how to lie and manipulate. You know, they say when the devil comes, he brings 7 people with him. So you get the lying demon, the stealing demon, the cheating demon, the scheming demon, you know, and I know that to be true now. And so I write about these things, you know.
Now, is that the silent, what is the silent scream? You got a play coming up.
Yeah, it's called Silent Screams to My Mother. And the grown woman goes back and addresses the trauma that she has as a little girl. And you have to, if anything you want to know about yourself, go back to when you were a little girl. why you do the things you do now. You know what made you, your steps, why you
Yeah.
did what you did. And so I was writing all this poetry about broken before I even knew I was broke. You can
Hmm.
crack an egg without breaking the yolk. The egg is so fragile that the naked eye can't see damage that has been done to its fragility. I always thought my mother was supposed to look at me and see I had got broken. So I was angry at her until I got to be a grown woman and realized, oh, what happened to me must have happened to you. You got broken and your mother never helped you. But if you don't know how, if you're looking for somebody to guide you and they don't know how to guide because they themselves had been so abused, all they knew what to do was just hide. So you can't help somebody if you've never been helped. And see, I've been helped. So I try to help everybody I can. I try to see every person that comes before my eyesight exactly the way they are. Even though they might have a smile on their face, I try to see past that smile and see that hurt, see that pain, and see things.
Yeah, Sharon, that's one of the things. Thank you for the sharing the story, because sometimes when we talk about gratitude, we're sort of on the surface and don't really see um, real serious gratitude, and that's what I feel when you tell your stories and read your poetry. But when we think gratitude and saying, thank you for this or thank you for that, then when you live an experience that you've just shared with us, the one thing that really amazes, it marvels me, I should say, or when I see it, is how you express and live the gratitude that you have experienced and received. When I see you with your work and the people that come into the college where you work, and how you literally greet every person coming into that big institution that at least come through your reception area. You greet them almost like you're greeting them at your home. You're asking them how they're, feeling. It's like, you see different people, and it's like you got radar for people that may not be up to par, that need some kind of assistance, whether they're hungry, a hug, or, you know, talk about your feelings in that. I mean, that's how I observe your gratitude.
It's not by coincidence I'm at the College of Lake County. The two things I found when I was leaving the crack house was my class ring and my Bible.
Mm.
And those were the two things I took with me. And then when I was 5 months clean, a lady named Eleanor Murkey
Oh.
let me come to the College of Lake County and paid me my first check that was not a welfare check and gave me a $50 check to do poetry. And you didn't look at my situation. You looked at the talent that you saw that I had, and you let me grace the stage of the College of Lake County. And I thought that was such an honor to me as a woman. You didn't see me
Mhm.
as what my records and my background said. You saw me as Sharon, the lady that could do poetry, and I did African American history poetry for you. I wrote special poetry because I was so honored and so grateful that you gave me the opportunity, you know, and I see people exactly the way they are. It doesn't matter if your clothes are tattered and torn. I see you. If God puts you in my presence and I'm mindful of you and you're great people, God said your gift makes room for you and take you before great people. Any person that I come in contact with is a great person to me, Eleanor. If
Right.
that atmosphere that we share, I can't let you stay down. I got to try to uplift you, encourage you, motivate you, or send you somewhere where you can get what you need to get you where you need to be.
And I have seen you, as you have done that to many, many uh, different students, all gender, race, um, economics. Uh, you have really done exactly what you said. And when I see that and I observe you and things and talking about gratitude, I always say that's grace in motion. That's gratitude in motion. And in terms of how I know you live your life, but in sharing with other people and your story of gratitude, without going, into that each time. I mean, how do you just express where people you encourage them to be grateful or thankful for where they are, but how do you see that when you're interacting with people? You
When
know,
I'm with people, they're interacting with in me.
mhm.
I if they take a moment to be with me, my moments are precious. So I try to make them precious. And so we're sharing this because I could walk away and drop dead, but that's not the impression I want to leave with you. I want to leave some kindness, some love. You know, it say for God so loved the world. I'm in this world. We're in this world. Al Jarreau said we in this thing together.
Gather.
We're
Yes.
in here together. And so I want to show love. I want to show some of that love that grace that was given to me. I try to give people, I ask God today to give me more grace and mercy and kindness for people. Because sometimes I want to pop off. There's a Sharon in me that want to pop and snap
Pop
up,
off.
because I did that for 20 years when I was out there. But I don't have to pop off. I got a God that can pop up and
Right.
and cover me. And so but sometimes when people kind of rub me the wrong way, I want to stand up.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. And one of the reasons, again, thanking you for taking the time to do this with me on this Arnold podcast here is because when we think of gratitude, it's also living uh, a life of gratitude. And one way of in doing that is sharing, as I've mentioned before, with you. So, I thank you because when you tell the raw story, that's another thing about you, Sharon. Um, you tell the raw story so that people can really get an understanding of your grace and gratitude. Because sometimes people wonder, why is that woman just walking around here humming and singing or doing different things? I think you sharing the for anybody who see and know you, understand where you're coming from, and that there's so many ways that when we talk gratitude, and I've talked to people before, um, they think is some that you're just saying thank you, sort of like somebody handing you a glass of water and you're saying thank you, but it's really so much more. It's a lifestyle, and I think you're living that lifestyle of gratitude. What are your
Well,
thoughts?
I think I'm, you know, after God came and got me, there was purpose. And I'm just trying to live up to this purpose that he gave me because he didn't keep me for no reason, Eleanor. You know,
Mhm.
I didn't survive tuberculosis for no reason. I didn't
Mm.
survive being robbed in the back of that complex building with a Tech 9 to my head for no reason. I didn't survive cancer for no reason. I didn't. There's a purpose in me. He has it for me. And I'm so grateful. I don't walk around and tell everybody everything that God has done for me because He's done so much. I don't want to brag and let people get jealous to think that, but I like, oh, yeah, He loves me because He
Yeah.
did this for me and He did this for me. Let me show you. Let me give some of that love
There you go.
back to you because I'm, if there's one time in my life that I tried to take my life and I
Mm.
was successful at that. And I thank God that He allowed me to be unsuccessful. He took that old woman that I was, and I was trying to hurt and disregard because he knew who I was. I did.
Amen. So really, this has been a real lesson in gratitude because it comes so many ways. It's just not one way or one thankfulness or one saying thank you to somebody. Gratitude is life and how it affects, and the more we express it, what it does to our personality, with our brains and our whole life system of living. And Sharon, before we finish, what I would like for you to do, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, is to give us one of your poems.
I've got to give you this poem because it's called Personal Walk. I
Okay.
want everybody to hear this, to get personal with the God of their understanding. I'm not telling you to choose my God, but I'm telling you to choose your God, the one that you understand, the one that you hear whispering and calling you in your ear. My relationship with my God got real personal. And
Mm.
this was called Personal Walk. For God so loved the world that He thought so much of me that He left His faithful 99 and came to set me free. For I was so abound in sin from living life my own way that God personally came and escorted me out of my hell that one day. And God, He told me this: I had been calling you for years, but you chose not to hear me. You chose worldly lust and ignorant fears. But I am a faithful God who promised never to leave you nor forsake. But you did not know my word nor me, and my promises I never break. And since you were my child, I watched over you all your years, walking you through your situations. And when you cried, I dried your tears.
All right.
Yes, I was always there, a faithful shield guarding over you, just waiting for you to call out to me so that I could come for you. Somehow you thought that you could make it. So I left you hanging by a thread until you were willing to hear my voice, but also willing to be led because you did not know who I was, my child, and how much I do love thee. I personally came and got you to take a closer walk with me. In Ephesians, it says, I love the Lord because He heard my cry. He heard my cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I I just walk the path that He's paved for me. And with grace, love, mercy, kindness, and gratitude.
Amen. Amen. Sharon, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to really show real live experience and gratitude that people can connect with. We just need to see and hear journeys of the people and how grace and gratitude carries us day by day in every way that we have. And this has been to me, a very unique experience for people to understand and see the depth and breadth of gratitude. So I thank you so much. Any other comment as we close out today? Yeah.
I thank you. I thank you. You don't know what you did in my life, but you encouraged me. You uplifted me. You motivated me. You accepted me back into the community where I had did so much damage and gave me and opened up the door to give me the opportunity to show what God had did in my life. And I thank you for that. And I'll always thank you for that. I think you're one of the most greatest women that I know.
Well, well, thank you for that. And with that, let me thank everyone for listening to this gratitude podcast, Manifest Gratitude. Share it with your friends on Facebook. We drop a podcast every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. So thank you again. Thank you, Sharon, and have a great day.